No, 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 no. Wait. Wait.
That right there was a visual representation of Hillary Clinton helping Mr. Beast get Twitter after Elon Musk promised it after tweeting about his potential early demise. Man, do I love the internet. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolute craziness to get into, especially after V-Day in Russia, and as that conflict looks like it's going to be expanded and prolonged, there's of course another one brewing right here in the United States as the mayor of Chicago just sent out a very inflammatory message to the world. All of this as gas prices have hit their highest, and they're expected to get a lot higher from here, as of course we're not only expecting more economic turbulence, but also civil turbulence here in the United States, as the addresses of Supreme Court justices were released to the public, and they're now the sites of major protests, which violate federal law, which for some reason isn't being followed here, and of course is trying to extort the Supreme Court justices to change their decision on an upcoming important case surrounding Roe versus Wade. Will these extortion efforts work? Will the protests that are happening in mainly Democratic states that won't be affected by the Supreme Court decision make an impact here? Will they get any crazier from here? Well, I think it's safe to say so, not only because it's going to be very difficult in order to use protests as a way to change a Supreme Court decision, but also there's a lot of unhinged, crazy individuals that are literally calling people to take up arms in protest against the Supreme Court's leaked decision about Roe versus Wade. As the mayor of Chicago, a lady that some people have described as Beetlejuice, has said, quote, "To my friends in the LGBTQ plus community, the Supreme Court is coming for us next. This moment has to be a call to arms." Literally calling for an insurrection, an armed one at that, and then making some kind of vague references to the Supreme Court making some kind of future decisions, which she specifically didn't state on the docket for the Supreme Court. You don't see any kind of cases surrounding this kind of sensationalistic language, as of course the Supreme Court is there to uphold the Constitution and the law of the land. It's meant to interpret those laws and to say that this governing body is coming for a particular group of people is an absolute unhinged, crazy idea, a crazy, unhinged, violent idea with the stamp of approval by the establishment, and therefore allowed as speech on a big tech social media platform that essentially is condoning this larger call to arms, allowing it on their platform, and of course not batting an eye when jokes and satire from the opposite political perspective get censored, downranked in the algorithm, and deleted from their platforms. And there have been a lot of blue checkmarked individuals calling for violence. There was a pro-life group that was just firebombed at their offices in Wisconsin. There's individuals, former mainstream corporate media reporters like Caroline Rayleigh, that literally called for more firebombings of pro-life groups, saying, quote, "May these people never know a moment of peace or safety until they rot in the ground." Literally saying, quote, "more of this," in response to the New York Times article that detailed this egregious, violent act, which even Elon Musk responded to this particular tweet saying, quote, "Obviously Twitter has a strong left-wing bias," and yeah, obviously they have a horse in this race. Obviously there's a lot of Silicon Valley individuals that are using their own political preferences and pushing them on people through the acts of censorship of jokes nonetheless, while actual calls for violence, calls for arms are being allowed and even promoted in some instances. Now, obviously that's a clear bias there that's going to create some instability, as of course these calls for violence are being promoted, are being shared, are being expressed in a way by big tech social media that is going to create more real life violence and harm to individuals individuals, creating a spiral that will absolutely go out of control here in the United States, perpetually pushing the left and right divide and conquer agenda, as specifically with these circumstances and the acquisition of Elon Musk of Twitter still needing months to take place. I think it's fair to say that this is only going to create more social instability in this country and more future acts of pointless violence, which is absolutely ridiculous and only directly helps out the establishment. Now, if it's not just civil unrest you have to worry about, it's also financial instability, as of course gas just hit another record high, soaring to $4.37 on a national average, the highest being in California, where gas is on average $5.84, but this was a rise of 17 cents in just 1 week, as of course these prices are expected to get even higher from here. This as we haven't even reached peak driving season, peak demand season, peak traveling season. This as just last year, gas was just $2.94 a gallon on average. Now with the supply still tight and the demand going up and going to continue to go up, this is of course not going to only affect you at the pump. This is going to affect you everywhere else, booking flights, buying groceries, you name it, you're going to be footed the bill. All thanks to, of course, absolutely ridiculously stupid energy policies from the Biden administration that have hindered domestic energy exploration and production, while of course relying on Saudi Arabia and its empire for our energy needs. All of this is being done in the name of environmentally friendly policies, which it's not. You're just going to Saudi Arabia and shipping it over here instead of just getting it from the ground here. But again, Greta Thunberg has to get her way. This as there's also a bloodbath in the stock market and even Bitcoin alternative crypto market, as tech giants have lost more than $1 trillion in value within the last 3 trading days. The economic devastation is so bad that it even has Bill Gates speaking the truth here, as he even came out and said that there's a strong argument that we're about to see a global economic slowdown. And gee, who would have thought it? Oh yeah, we've been warning you about that for a very long time. But don't worry, this Biden administration has everything under control, as of course this administration is planning on putting together another $40 billion aid package for Ukraine. This as Biden is going to be launching a speech about how he's going to be fighting inflation, as he's demanding more money to be printed out of thin air for his bureaucracy at home and of course the larger war efforts in Europe. This as he's also expected to blame Ultra MAGA for this problem, which is a little ridiculous, as of course it's the government printing money out of thin air that led us here. Trump, yeah, he did that a lot. Biden doing that a lot too. The other guys did it a lot too. It's almost if it doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat when it comes to fiscal policy, with their reckless bureaucratic Becky spending that of course is not helping anyone and only impeding in business. And this is why I've created my own inflation-proof platform, divvying out the most important asset during these very turbulent times, and that is important information that could help you make very important decisions for the extremely crazy times ahead of us. This is, of course, my private members area where I do videos almost every single day. Content only available to members, which cost you 50 cents a day, and not only helps support and grows this independent media outlet, but also gives you exclusive access to events, merchandise, 3 masterclasses that will teach you about traveling, communicating online, survival, you name it, we got it. All the latest important content that we can't share here on this platform will be on lukeuncensored.com, where of course I have been putting a lot of my eggs in, a lot of my time, a lot of my blood, sweat, and tears. I take a lot of my resources and have been putting them directly towards providing you the best service I can on lukeuncensored.com. The link is down in the description below. Click it right now and find out more how you could sign up as a member. And with these levels of inflation, you might as well spend your money before it loses its value, as of course the other person that the Biden administration is blaming blaming for these financially tough times is, of course, Russia and Vladimir Putin, who, of course, are having a negative impact on the world economy because of their war effort. But in the large scheme of things, it's like a cherry on top on the big pile of crap that was created and pooped out by the Federal Reserve System here in the United States that literally has secret bailouts in the trillions of dollars to all of their top Wall Street banking buddies. What's happening right now behind the scenes at the U.S. Federal Reserve? They are literally socializing their losses. Their profits are, of course, private. They get to keep that. When they profit, then they believe in capitalism. When they lose money, they believe in socialism, and they get bailed out. They get bailed out to the tune that we don't even know about because it's probably so big we don't even know, and the consequences for this are severe, as even Thomas Swalwell is detailing how the purchasing power of your dollar is literally being eviscerated, and no matter what kind of safe you have, your money is not safe from politicians who, of course, control the printing presses. Now, again, the situation in Ukraine is bad, and obviously I'm not hiding from that. Obviously, it's going to make the situation worse on the world stage, especially when it comes to the exportation of wheat, the exportation of fertilizer on the world stage, which is definitely going to make the situation very bad for the people in Africa and the Middle East in the upcoming months. But as we know, just a few hours ago, Russia went through their V-Day, where Vladimir Putin addressed the crowd, and we told you that this was going to be an important announcement to see where the conflict in Europe is going to be going to. And during his national address to the Russian nation, Vladimir Putin literally talked about shifting his strategy in Ukraine towards a long game, as of course it looks like from this speech that Russia is preparing for a prolonged conflict in Ukraine, something that we've been telling you was a big possibility here from the very beginning, and it looks like that is going to be the case here. It's also very interesting to see that this was more of a scaled down military parade than previous years that Russia has held, and it definitely looks like Russia will be pushing further from the Donbass region and even setting its sights on Moldova, as of course Putin also talked about during his speech the larger threat of NATO and the United States, which he believes wants to invade and conquer all of Russia. Now, all of this is happening as, of course, Russian troops are digging in, especially near the Donbass region, and there are a lot of photos and videos coming out of a lot of Russian hardware that has been destroyed. And I wanted to specifically address this point because there has been a lot of U.S. military technology sent to the Ukrainians that, of course, are being trained in Germany and Poland in order to utilize the latest technology against the Russians, specifically things like Javelin anti-tank missiles, which Lockheed Martin just announced that they're doubling the production of today, as, of course, the Ukrainian military has been not taking on the Russian military head-on, but using small squads of attack teams and utilizing more of an insurgent tactic when it comes to Russia, which I have to say it looks like they have had some success with, not only from the videos and photos of all the Russian hardware that's destroyed here, but even mainline Russian state television admitted that there have been a lot of problems when it comes to lack of proper equipment for the Russians and logistical errors that have prevented reinforcements and the right equipment to get to the right people. And I think it's very fair to say that this conflict has evolved towards a proxy conflict between Russia and the United States. There's already a larger financial conflict happening between these two countries, which doesn't benefit anyone during these hard economic times. War doesn't benefit anyone, and with this conflict potentially lasting years, even possibly decades. You look at the kind of sectarian violence that's happening between the Israelis and the Palestinians. It's something that could be going on for a very long time, and we have to see that as a real possibility, as of course even Biden admitted that Putin really doesn't have a way out of this. He doesn't have a way to kind of save face, which could be why we're hearing so much from the Russians when it comes to their threats of using nuclear weapons. Now, it looks like a lot of Western elites want to prolong this conflict. It looks like Putin is going to be doing that from the assessment of his latest speech on Victory Day, and it's something we've been warning you about and kind of telling you when, of course, the corporate media was telling you that the Russians were going to take Kiev in a few days. That, of course, definitely didn't happen. I think it's fair to say that we're in the long haul of this, and that is just my perspective, my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, there's been a lot of people expressing that I'm calling this wrong down in the comment section below, specifically somehow detailing how I'm incorrect about my assessments with how Russia is doing, and I might not be seeing some information that you're seeing. Send me some information. I would like to see it, but as of right now, from what I'm seeing online, I haven't seen anything significant, and I'm calling it like I see it. That's my perspective, and if you thought it was helpful or useful to help you understand the larger kind of craziness that we're all involved in, share this video with your friends and family members. If you disagree with me, tell me why down in the comment section below. I always appreciate the constructive criticism. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys being a part of this independent media broadcast. I got one more video coming your way later on today on LukeUncensored.com. I hope you guys join me and Atlas there for our conversation. You saw those eyes and ears kind of perk up. She is the best co-host I have ever had. I love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more here on wearechange.org.